Welcome back to Severe MMA, and today I'm delighted to be joined live from Johannesburg by a man bursting onto the pro scene, causing a splash. He's taken on Asiashu Tshitamba. I've definitely butchered that name.
You don't matter to me. You don't matter to me.
At EFC 89 this Saturday, September 11th, the 2019 SevereMMA Amateur Fighter of the Year, Taka Mhandu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be chatting to SevereMMA. I've been following you guys since actually before I got into sport. Actually, it was always remember when Andy was on, he'd be doing like the vlogs with Chris and stuff like that. And I remember back in the day, and this was actually before I started training with Chris, and I'd be watching like his little vlogs of him cutting weight and barman and stuff like that. So it's cool now that I get my own chance to kind of come on and talk to you guys. So it's a nice little full circle around.
Well, I think it's us who should be kind of clamoring to talk to you this week. I think, seeing as you've gone full viral.
Yeah, so I was a bit mad actually, but like I had to correct him. I couldn't let him slip. Yeah, especially because. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was just gonna say, for anyone watching. So I think I looked at your Twitter there earlier on. It was something like 323,000 views. You correcting an unfortunate journalist who classified you as from the UK. So do you wanna kind of give a recap of what happened?
Yeah, I'll give you a little recap of the story, right? So I was at the press conference there yesterday, and obviously the guy kind of just, he knew I'd fought in the UK, and he knew I had a UK title, so you just assumed that I was from the UK and Ireland was a part of the UK. So he began with the correction, or with like the mistake at the beginning of the question, and then like it was a long enough question. So the only thing I could actually focus on was the fact that he'd mistaken Ireland for being in the UK, and like I was listening to the rest of the question, but I was more like, I need to correct that guy and let him know that we're not part of the UK. So that was the first thing I said to him, yeah, and I kind of just corrected him on that, yeah.
It's almost a rite of passage, I think, for Irish athletes at some point to be claimed.
Absolutely, like, and then people text me going, "Does he work for the BBC? Does he work for the BBC?" He didn't work for the BBC, but he might get a job from the BBC after that one then.
Yeah, and you must have used one of the best one-liners I've ever heard on your tweet. I think it was, "I'm like a pint of Guinness, black and Irish."
Yeah, that was an absolute cracker. I have to give Mr. Fields his props for that one, because I was because we're trying to think of something for a while, and I was just like my brain was blank because I'm in the middle of cutting weight, and like my thought process is only for food now at the minute. So Chris just sat there. That's the one. Or like, and all of us in the room just like, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So now I played that well, and it kind of lifted like the hype and the excitement for the fight as well, which kind of played exactly into what I want, because like this is a big fight for me, and it's a big opportunity. So I just want to go out there, make the most amount of noise I can, and obviously go in there and get the finish as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like, as you said, you've drawn a lot of attention to yourself. You know, I know it's been 2 years since you last fought, since your last amateur fight. So, you know, what a way to make a splash ahead of the fight and get a bit of hype going and get a bit of attention. And yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about, like, obviously I think we broke the news in SevereMMA, Sean Sheehan did earlier on this year, around you signing for EFC with a 6-fight deal, I believe. So I guess what was the thought process behind that, or how did that come to fruition?
So this came to fruition. So like AFC was always something that me and Chris have kind of went back and forth about, and there's always something that was that could have been on the horizon. But Carl stepped in as my manager and got in touch with them, and kind of had links to the organization. So he got in touch with them, and it's like at the story of like me come back to my roots in Zimbabwe. Obviously, like the UFC are looking to kind of break into the African scene with the likes of Adesanya, Usman and Ngannou and all there as the champions. So obviously there's a market there that they're kind of looking to capitalize on. So I kind of fitted the bill for what EFC were looking for, and like the next big star that they want to bring up. And obviously it was just a clear cut decision. Obviously, like when I first got into a Cage Warriors was one I was on the front of my mind. But that's only because that's the only one I kind of really knew at the time. And as time went on, I kind of seen that there's other big organizations that can get you into UFC as well, that kind of gave you that little bit of travel experience as well before you kind of get into into UFC, going to Vegas, all the long flights and the journeys and stuff. So kind of getting used to that now was also going to be very beneficial for me in the future as well. And this is just an exciting opportunity to have in my hands. I'm looking forward to just capitalizing and grabbing it with both hands. Well, we're grabbing your man with both hands, or just the one if I'm lucky.
And yeah, like I remember we were speaking before, just on Instagram or something. You know, you were kind of saying, look, I'm looking to make the transition up to the pro ranks, and you were kind of looking for maybe like a late minute call up if there was a pull out on one of the Cage Warriors shows and things like that. Was there any discussions with Cage Warriors, or Was it kind of once EFC came up, or?
So like it was close once or twice actually getting a fight, which cage wars for a couple of dropouts, but at the end of I think they ended up just bringing, because like I think the thing that kind of messed up a lot was obviously the COVID situation at the time. So it was, they're finding it difficult to fight people over and kind of get people over and this, that, and the other. So like that they kind of fell through, and then obviously had the fight with Dara lined up in for Clan Wars earlier on this year in March, and that fell through as well, which is kind of like a blessing in disguise, because I put so much work into that camp. And I really seen big improvements in my game. But like shortly after that, I got to deal with EFC, and since then, like my game has developed into something completely different now. And like I'm coming in here as a complete mixed martial artist, so I kind of looked at that as a kind of like as an opportunity for me to better myself and kind of go from strength to strength from that camp. And like this is my second camp this is my second camp, but my first fight as a professional. So I got used to the 5-minute rounds. I got used to the rigorous training, and like just for this being my life again, for this being my job. So I kind of got used to that in the Dara Tallman camp, and then now like all that work kind of just kind of like trickled down into this camp now. So I'm feeling very good about it.
So have you found that like almost the time, you know, the gap in between like your last amateur and your pro, has it served you, you know, has it kind of positioned you even better, or would you have preferred to be a bit more active?
Of course, I would have liked to fight more, but I think this benefited me a lot more in terms of my development, because like I've been trying to like since like the pandemic began, and then it's kind of like it's a bit touch and go in terms of the training. So I was meeting up with one of the lads, Ben Hughes, that I'm good mates with, and I was just doing a little bit with him throughout that time. And as everything kind of slowly started opening back up, everything started building back up. So we're in kind of groups with people, and kind of still getting the work done. And then obviously eventually as time went on, things opened up. We're kind of like, right, we got back into the full group. So like the development through that time never really hindered or never really stopped, because I was always training. I was always kind of improving on stuff and things that I've always wanted to work on. Kind of like my grappling, my offensive grappling, my defensive grappling has always been good, but especially my offensive grappling now, I consider myself like a little mini John Jones now.
And I wanted to talk to you as well. So obviously EFC are a South African based promotion, and I know you were born in Zimbabwe, and you've spoken before about, you know, the connection to the region. Did that kind of have like a little extra incentive, or, you know, is it extra specialty for you to be making your pro debut in a region, you know, close to where you were born?
Absolutely, like it feels like a little bit like destiny, you know, coming back towards this side of the world, doing something that I love, and it's something that I would have never imagined 5 years ago when I finished school. Because, you know, like I always had the ambition of becoming an MMA fighter, and that was always my goal. And funny enough, I was only saying this to somebody earlier on, like in my yearbook in school, my ambition was, like, my quote for my ambition was, I'm going to be a professional MMA fighter. You can call me Mystic Tak because I predict these things. So I always knew I was going to be here. And now it's actually a pretty good line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I always knew where I was going to be, but I never thought it would lead me back down towards this side of the world. But this also gives me an opportunity to go back to Zimbabwe. So like obviously this fight was everything's a bit touch and go. I didn't really know what was kind of going on, like kind of leading up. But like, I just knew I had a fight, so everything kind of behind the scenes, it was kind of a bit touch and go. But I got here now at the end, and obviously for my next fight now, I'm going to be looking forward to going over to Zimbabwe and kind of visiting my dad's grave, because I haven't had an opportunity to do that yet. So this is going to work. This is literally just worked out perfectly, like, because I wouldn't have had that opportunity otherwise.
Yeah, and I'm very sorry to hear about your dad. And so you mentioned it's your first time going back. Did you move over to Ireland when you were young, or well, I suppose on the back of that, how did you end up kind of falling into MMA, or finding MMA and SPG Swords, and then, you know, Team KF?
Mm-hmm. So I moved to Ireland when I was 5 years old. So my mum and my dad moved about 2-3 years before then, and then I was living with my nanny, my granddad, and then I moved off to Ireland then. So like when I got into MMA, when I first started watching, it would have been about, I think about 2012, 2013, maybe 2011, because my sister's boyfriend at the time was an MMA fighter, and I kind of wanted to learn how to protect myself. So I was like, I'll teach you, blah blah blah. And the first event that I watched was actually John Jones and Rashad Evans. And then I remember I was watching the countdown show that they do, and then like I was seeing like they're talking about Jones' wingspan and stuff, and I seen him like doing that pose, and I was looking at myself, like, you know, the way you have the big mirror in the house, I'd be looking at myself thinking like,
Yeah,
I could do what he's doing.
yeah, that's me.
And yeah, that's exactly. I was like, that's me. Like, and even the same with Anderson Silva as well. Like, he was a big hero of mine. And like now that I'm finally getting this opportunity now to be living the life that those guys are living, is pretty cool.
Yeah. And so when did you start training then? Was it kind of teens or?
Yeah, sorry, I actually forgot about that one there.
No,
I
you're
started
grand.
training. I started training in SBG Swords at the time when it was called that, when I was 19 full time. So that was like the latter half of the year. I kind of dipped my toes in it every now and again. I think a couple of months before that, but I never really kind of solidified that that's what I was going to be doing. Because obviously, I like partying and stuff like that. I like going out with my friends, so that kind of distracted me for a little while. But eventually, like I remember, I was only telling this earlier on as well. The girl that I was seeing at the time, I was like to her here, I might go part time in work and kind of just focus on this MMA thing because it's something that I really want to do. And she was like, yeah, you should go do it, absolutely. And I was just like, right, that was just, I just needed somebody to tell me yes, because my mind was like, I was already over the line, but just somebody just hearing somebody say yes to me just literally pushed me over, just pushed me over the line. So yeah, and now I'm here. So yeah, so like I never had any traditional martial arts background. I never trained in anything before I started training MMA. So I'm literally just a mixed martial artist, pure mixed martial artist. And I think I'm one of the first guys Chris brought up that has just come in and just learned full martial arts from KF and from Chris.
Yeah, and I
Obviously,
think, of course, yeah, Tom King and Kyle as well, of course. I think that Team KF is a very kind of unique and interesting kind of case study because it's it's a gym that is still growing. It's a very in its early days still. What's it been like for you to kind of have been there since day one, essentially? Like it's a very young fighters coming up together. What's that been like?
It's been amazing now. Like I've been training with the Shelleys now for the last 4 years, and me and them have like an amazing relationship. Like we constantly bounce off each other and work from strength to strength. So it's been really cool opportunity now to be kind of grow with them and kind of see each other kind of get better and see each other kind of become professionals at the same time, because we're always bounce off each other. And the way when you're
Sorry, just pause 1 second. I just want to grab something. I was standing there dancing. When you're like a kid trying to wait to go skipping. I was like, here, wait, it's my gun. I'm trying to find my wallet because I got to book something for my missus. It's her birthday tomorrow.
Father Chris.
Yeah, I'm dead.
This is the body of Chris Fields in shock currently.
Yeah, sorry.
What a body! What a body!
All crotch and shot. Yeah,
that's why I moved my head out.
Yeah. Get away that. Wife's birthday tomorrow. If I don't book her something, I'm a dead man. Right.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, enjoy.
He's a smart man.
That lad's always looking for the attention, isn't he?
Absolutely, he loves it. But the funny thing is, right, like the way that he treats us, right, he has all the command over us, whatever. And then I knocked into his house there to give him back his key, and his wife does to him what he does to us, and she was like, "Do you have keys? Do you have this? Do you have that?" And it was just funny just seeing how there's always a hierarchy, there's always someone above you, and Laura's above Chris, and I love it. It's funny to see.
Yeah, and talk to me about Chris. So I read an article earlier on. I think it was by Ross Markey from Fightbook, and you were talking about the relationship that you have with Chris Fields, and he's almost like an older brother or father like figure to you. Just if you could expand on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, look, when I first kind of started training, like I said, I was about 18, 19 when I started taking seriously. Me and Chris, remember after one of the Christmas parties, we were sat at McDonald's and kind of just chatting. I kind of just told him what happened with my dad and just kind of the route that was taken, whatever. And he kind of seen, and obviously the same thing kind of happened to him, similar thing. Now, lost a father at a young age, kind of went off the rails a little bit, and like I think he's seen a little bit himself and me. So he tried to kind of reel me in and kind of put me on the right path and kind of give me a sense of direction where like I can have an outlet to kind of like express these emotions and kind of do everything I can to make myself a better person rather than self-destructing and kind of bring myself into trouble and kind of not being the person that I should have been. So the relationship I've had with him has been great, and like I wouldn't be here without him, and I wouldn't be here without the people around me, definitely.
And is it a case that through martial arts you feel like that's kind of how you were expressing yourself?
Absolutely, yeah. Because even since when I was younger, I've always had my even remember because when I was in secondary school, I'd be sitting in the back of class like drawing little stick men with UFC belts, like so. Like I always knew this is what I wanted to do, and just the fact that I met somebody that was perfect for me at the time, and that's perfect for me now, and that wants me to do the best for myself, and just see me just do what he knows I'm capable of is such a good person to have behind me, definitely.
Absolutely, and I know it's very much a transitionary period in the gym. Look, there's been a lot of talk and kind of news, unfortunate news around the gym lately. But obviously the departure of Gary, like a very close teammate of yours and like someone who I know was in your corner for many of your amateur fights as well.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you since with everything that's been going on?
Of course, like like obviously when it first happened, it was obviously a bit of an adjustment period, and like it was weird at the beginning, but like as everything kind of as everything like things move on, life goes on, the train doesn't stop, like that's life. Like sometimes you lose people, like they don't necessarily have to die, but sometimes you lose them anyway. But that's that. Like, you know, he's gone, and he's not coming back anyway. So I just have to keep moving on, keep focusing on myself.
And how do you see him doing in the UFC?
I see him doing well. I definitely see him doing well. Like it's like I still consider him a friend. So like, even though I haven't talked to him in a while, but like I wish him the best. Like I never, like, we always wanted to do this together, and like that was our main goal, to kind of get in UFC together. But obviously things didn't work out that way. But I still want to see him doing well. Yeah.
And looking at, I always find it interesting, or I like to talk to kind of debuting fighters about goals in MMA. So obviously you've signed with the EFC now. The UFC, is that the goal for you in MMA?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I have like a little 1, 3, and 5 year plan. So the 1 year plan, of course, is to get this EFC belt, and kind of get my name out there, kind of just close to UFC, just like on the brink of it. And then the 3 year plan is obviously to be in the UFC, and the 5 year plan is to be world champion within the UFC. So like that's my 1, 3, and 5 year goal for the meantime. And I've been taking, like, I'm a little bit annoyed, but like obviously like there's nothing I could have done. Like everything was out of everyone's hands in terms of the coronavirus and stuff, because like I should have been training up 3 years and then made my professional debut. So it kind of annoyed me how I never got that kind of stat under my belt, but I was nearly there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I've still only been training and doing this for about 3.5 years. So like that's still very, very good, if you know what I mean, especially with the skill level and the opponents that I've faced in the last couple of years. I've literally just gone from strength to strength, and you know, like it's just like I don't want the easy fights. Like I've always one of the toughest fights, the toughest routes, and like that's why I chose Asi as like, well, not me in particular, but that's why obviously Colton and Chris chose Asi as my opponent, because they want to see me fight the toughest guys. And obviously if the pandemic didn't happen, I would have been 4 or 5 now at this point. So he's the level of competition I should be facing for my debut, 100%. Like there's no point in me going in there and beating some guy up that I know can definitely beat up, because that's not gonna make me feel good. That's not gonna give me any satisfaction, because I want a real test.
Yeah, and I think we've seen with the EFC, you know, historically they have tested fighters. It's not a case where, you know, you're going in and getting kind of handpicked opponents or anything like that. We've seen like Will Fleury did a reality TV show with them. Peter Quealy's fought, Jake Hadley's fought, you know, Cage Warriors champion, and the EFC champion. Looking ahead to your opponent, so I'm going to butcher this name again, Asiashu Tshitamba. It's close enough. You know, just call him Asi.
I'll just call him Asi because I was at the press conference yesterday, and I'm like, I looked up his name, and he just like, call me Asi. I was like, thanks, bro. Appreciate that. And what were you saying?
But so looking ahead to that fight. So like he's obviously, you know, you're a debuting pro. Obviously you're undefeated, 6-0 as an amateur. But he's a 7-fight veteran on the pro scene. In comparison, it's a tough fight to be taken. So you're clearly, you know, all eyes are on the EFC bantamweight title. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Like I want to be full steam ahead. I want my name to be in contention for that belt right out of the gate. Like, you know what I mean? And Asi's fought some of the guys that fought for the belt. I think he fought the guy that's the champion now at the minute. And like I think with a big win over him, that's gonna put me right up there in total attention in EFC. So I'm just looking for, like, the camp has been great. I feel amazing, and I'm calm, collected, and I'm ready to go out there and do the job. And I know, like, I know I have the ability to go in there and do it. And like, and after this win, I think I'll probably only need about 2 more wins to after this win, I'll probably need about 2 more wins to get that belt. And that's the goal, you know. The goal is to be world champions, to bring the gold home to EFC. Not the EFC, the EFC gold back to KF. Sorry.
Absolutely. And you know, we're September now, so I know it's been a 2-year layoff. Are you trying to kind of get this one in and then another one before the end of the year, or what's the plan for the activity?
I'm an active man. Like, you know, I love being active, and obviously, like, I had like 6 fights in like 14, 15 months in my amateur career, and that kind of got stopped now for the pandemic. But after this fight now, I want to be fighting at least 3 or 4 months, at least every 3 or 4 months. Like, if I get 4 in a year, I'll be happy. I'm very, very happy. If I get 3 in, I'll be happy. But if I get 4 in, that's exactly where I'm going to be.
Yeah, and for fans who haven't seen you fight before, what can we expect on Saturday night?
Expect entertainment, you know. Every time, like from the walkout to the fight to the finish, like it's all entertainment, you know. I'm an entertainer. Like I'm always been a goofer. I've always been somebody that likes having a buzz, just kind of just getting people laughing, getting people on a good buzz, and that's what you can expect from Saturday night. And finally, I can finally have a bit of tape of me walking out to Rick James, give to me baby with Chris dancing in the background. So like if you're not going to tune in for the fight, tune in for that alone, right?
I was going to bring that up because I haven't seen you fight live, but I've seen your amateur fights, and every single one, it's like, oh, the walkout, dancing to the cage, but there's never any footage of it. So walk us through your dance out.
So you know what's funny, right? Lydia Daidal actually was like, there was one time I didn't actually do it. So she was ready to record it there, and like I come out to a completely different song, and it's all like mad serious, walking like a robot and all. And like that was what people expected. And the next thing, like, from then on, I was just like, this is what I have to do. And like I think now after this one, like after people see it, like it's never going to be changed. It's going to be like one of them like Anderson Silva kind of DMX kind of like, you know, like something that's iconic that people like when you hear it, like it's that guy. That's just Taka, yeah. So it's gonna be one of them, and you're gonna see me like moving around, grooving, and you're gonna see Chris in the back just like awkwardly dancing, like, and then now we have Colin in the corner as well. So I don't even know what he's gonna be doing. So I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing him. I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing the tape because I won't be able to look back and just see what they're doing. So because I'm gonna be too focused on my own moves.
So coaches, corner men, and backup dancers.
Absolutely, they do it all. They do a bit of singing, like whatever you want, they do it.
Yeah. And lastly, Taka, give us a prediction for the fight.
I think it's gonna be a first round finish. I think the first 3 minutes is gonna be a little feeling out process, kind of just getting. Then I kept putting. I don't know if there'd be jitters because I'd be nice and loose after the dancing. So like I think it's gonna be definitely finished in the first round. And if it comes from the feet, it comes from the feet. If it comes from the ground, it comes from the ground. Like I was saying earlier on, my game's developed a lot, and now I'm a complete mixed martial artist, and I can take the fight anywhere. So it's definitely going to be a finish anyway. And I think with the 4 ounce gloves, I think the power is really going to come through with these gloves, and like that's really going to surprise Asty when I hit on a Saturday night. He's not going to feel anybody that hits like me, or he hasn't felt anybody that hits like me. Excuse me.
And lastly, before I let you go, if you want to give a shout out to any sponsors or plug your social media handles or anything like that, go on ahead.
Yeah, my Instagram is Taka Mhandu, and so is my Twitter. And I'd just like to thank the people who are on the t-shirt now: Lion Combat, KF, Team Logistics, and Evolution Fitness. John Carroll, my man, he's my SSC coach. And it's actually one of his understudies was done the majority of this one with me. Her name's Kieran McGurk, so I give her a shout out as well because she helped me a lot for this camp and helped to get me in such excellent nick. Hold on, check the abs. Boom.
yeah, mine are just hidden. You can't see them.
you don't need abs, Andy. You look great in you. Don't worry, mate.
Actually, I'm only an upper half. I don't have it. But yeah, look, you've been on the radar from the Irish amateur MMA scene for a long time now, Taka. It's great to see you finally making the jump to pro. Fans can watch at efcworldwide.tv this Saturday, the 11th of September, as Taka the Cat Mhandu, undefeated MMA fighter, takes on Asiashu Tshitamba. I got it right that time.
Nailed it.
At EFC 89. Check him out. Main card, I saw you were bumped up to from the prelims.
I got bumped to the main card, apparently. I didn't even know that until today. Somebody told me, I'm just like, well, here I am now. I got bumped to the main card. Let's do it.
Yeah, so you got main card, viral clips, and now hopefully a big win on Saturday.
Big win on Saturday, and that's the magic 3. Then we'll go home happy, and then have some beers, have some pizza, and we're good to go.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck. Best of luck this weekend, and thanks for joining us today, Taka. Much appreciated.
No problem, Andy. Thanks very much for having me.